What happens when four brothers all believe they deserve the same throne? In 1894, Morocco descended into chaos as the sons of Sultan Hassan I tore their nation apart in a brutal fight for power. Morocco in the late 19th century stood at a crossroads. The North African kingdom, ruled by the Alawite dynasty, faced pressure from European colonial powers while struggling to maintain its independence. When Sultan Hassan I died in 1894, he left behind a kingdom and four ambitious sons who each believed they had the right to rule. The four brothers were Moulay Abdelaziz, Moulay Mohammed, Moulay Arafa, and Moulay Hassan. Their father had deliberately avoided naming a clear successor, perhaps hoping to maintain balance among his sons. Instead, this decision planted the seeds of Morocco's most destructive internal conflict of the century. Ba Ahmed, the powerful Grand Vizier and former slave who had risen to become Morocco's most influential figure, made the first move. He quickly maneuvered to place the youngest brother, 14-year-old Moulay Abdelaziz, on the throne. Ba Ahmed calculated that a young sultan would be easier to control, allowing him to rule Morocco from behind the curtain. The older brothers immediately rejected this arrangement. Moulay Mohammed, the eldest, had served as governor of several provinces and commanded respect among tribal leaders. He believed primogeniture gave him the strongest claim. Moulay Arafa controlled significant military forces in the southern regions and had cultivated alliances with powerful Berber tribes. Moulay Hassan, named after their father, enjoyed support from religious scholars who saw him as the most pious candidate. Within weeks of their father's death, Morocco fractured along regional lines. Each brother established a power base and began recruiting supporters. Tribal leaders, military commanders, and provincial governors had to choose sides, knowing that backing the wrong brother could mean death or exile. Moulay Mohammed struck first, marching from his stronghold in Fez with an army of loyal soldiers and tribal warriors. He declared himself the legitimate sultan and demanded that his younger brother abdicate. Ba Ahmed responded by fortifying Marrakech and mobilizing the royal army to defend Moulay Abdelaziz. The brothers' armies clashed in the plains between Fez and Meknes in a battle that left hundreds dead. Moulay Mohammed's forces initially gained ground, but Ba Ahmed's superior artillery and better organized troops eventually forced them to retreat. The eldest brother withdrew to regroup, but his defeat emboldened the other claimants. Moulay Arafa saw his opportunity and launched his own campaign from the south. His Berber allies swept northward, capturing several important cities and cutting off trade routes. The economy began to collapse as merchants fled the violence and agricultural production plummeted. Famine threatened regions where fighting prevented farmers from tending their crops. Moulay Hassan adopted a different strategy. Rather than fielding large armies, he worked to undermine his brothers politically. He sent emissaries to tribal leaders, promising religious reforms and greater autonomy. He portrayed himself as the peacemaker who could end the bloodshed if only the others would recognize his rightful claim. The conflict dragged on for months, devastating Morocco's infrastructure and economy. European powers watched with interest, seeing opportunity in Morocco's weakness. France and Spain both increased their presence along Morocco's borders, preparing to exploit the chaos. Ba Ahmed proved to be the decisive factor in the war's outcome. His control of the treasury, his network of spies, and his political acumen allowed him to systematically isolate each challenger. He bribed key supporters to abandon Moulay Mohammed. He cut deals with tribal leaders who had backed Moulay Arafa, offering them positions and wealth in exchange for switching sides. By late 1894, the tide had turned decisively in favor of young Moulay Abdelaziz. Moulay Mohammed accepted exile rather than face certain defeat. Moulay Arafa's Berber coalition crumbled when Ba Ahmed offered them better terms. Moulay Hassan, seeing his brother's fates, negotiated a peaceful settlement that allowed him to retain some influence at court. The war left Morocco weakened and vulnerable. Thousands had died in the fighting, and the economy lay in ruins. The conflict demonstrated to European powers that Morocco could no longer effectively govern itself, accelerating the colonial ambitions that would eventually lead to French and Spanish protectorates. Moulay Abdelaziz ruled as sultan, but Ba Ahmed held the real power until his death in 1900. The young sultan's reign would be marked by increasing European interference and further internal strife. The Succession War of 1894 had broken something fundamental in Morocco's ability to resist foreign domination. This fraternal conflict reminds us that the most dangerous threats to a kingdom often come from within. When personal ambition overrides national interest, everyone loses. The four brothers who fought for Morocco's throne ultimately weakened the very prize they sought to win.